welcome back to another video, and today I wanted to speak about the heart versus the ego and how do we know which one is at play in any given moment. And I have to say, to begin with, it is very hard to identify whether something is coming from your ego or coming from your heart. And I guess if you're good at being within your body, if you do grounding activities, such as meditation, if you do mindfulness, practice mindfulness, if you go on walks in nature, yoga. So if you are in tune with your body, I guess you will probably know what I'm speaking about in this video. But if not, I'm going to hopefully share some things that are useful and hopefully they make sense, because a lot of this comes from feeling and being intuitive rather than from a thinking space, which is the space in which the ego operates. So I guess the way to do this is to so I'm going to start actually with the story, because it might help a bit more in trying to explain. And so for the longest time, I told myself that I hated public speaking. I hated being like center stage or in the spotlight. I don't like the word spotlight, but I guess it's the best example if I can find at the moment. So I've told myself for a very, very long time that that's my worst nightmare. I don't want to be there, and yeah, I'm no good at it. I don't want to do it. And I was in a course which turns out that worst nightmare actually happened. We came back from a break and the stage was set up in the space of someone speaking about something or doing something and an audience. And when I saw that setup, I froze, because I knew what was coming next. But anyway, fast forward, I had always told myself that I hate public speaking. I hate speaking in front of audiences, and I hate being in front of an audience. And when it was my time to go up in this class, and actually my speech, or what I wanted to talk about, was making decisions from the heart, and listening to your heart over the ego. And while I was there, I realized that aside from the noise that my mind was creating, that like I'm terrified, I'm fearful, like I'm anxious with all these people staring at me, I was really worried about any thoughts of judgment that they might have, judgments that I'm having about myself being there. But what I realized and noticed was so fascinating was that actually, aside from all this noise, I was really enjoying being there. And I guess if you're not paying attention to how you're really, really feeling inside, you will get swept away in thinking with your mind and thinking, negative thoughts and negative beliefs. But by actually putting myself in that situation or being in that situation, only by doing that, I realized that I enjoyed it, and I realized that my heart really wanted to be there. So my true self really wanted to be there and really wanted to be, addressing an audience. And that was it was actually a breakthrough for me, actually. And it was, once I realized that, I just couldn't believe how many years I had been spending letting my mind take over and letting my mind allow me to believe something that actually wasn't true to myself and true within. So by being in a situation and by clearing out the noise of your mind, I guess you will probably feel something that will tell you otherwise. I really hope that makes sense. But yeah, so it's just knowing to go within and trusting your heart's guidance. And I believe that the only way to do that is to just do things, try new things that you maybe thought that you didn't like, because it turns out that you might really enjoy it. And in HeartMath, there's a technique called the freeze frame, which helps you make decisions from the heart over the ego. And I will talk about it in another video. I'll go through the technique in full in another video, because it's so helpful in making heart-based decisions over decisions made from like fear, worry, anxiety, judgments from others. And I also wanted to talk about care versus overcare. And care in general, if we're really doing care as we should be, it comes from a loving space, it comes from a peaceful space, and it's light. When you truly care for someone, or if you're truly carrying out an act of care, you do it just because you want to, regardless of the outcome. And you do it from love. You do it because you really want to, and you're happy to do it. Overcare comes from the ego, and overcare is draining. It can build resentment, it can cause like annoyance, anger, frustration. And an example of overcare is doing something for someone with an agenda. So the ego always has an agenda. So say you're doing something, a random act of care for someone. Say you take someone's dry cleaning to the shop for them, or if you do a weekly shop for someone, and say they didn't give you a reaction that you expected. Say they weren't grateful for the act that you just did, taking their dry cleaning or their shopping, and they just didn't really care, and that's caused you to be annoyed and resentful. Now that reaction is only going to come from the ego. And again, if you really think about why you did that, the ego would have done that because it wants external gain. So it wants praise, it wants thanks from others and appreciation. And if that care is coming from a heart place, a place from the heart, a place of real genuine care, you will really not care about the person's reaction. You will just be happy that you did it anyway. And regardless of their action, of the person's reaction, if you're truly doing something from a place of love, they will feel it on some energetic level, regardless of their reaction. That's the truth. So it's just noticing reasons why you do things. We do things as well. The ego's always got an agenda. The ego always wants something back. If you're doing something from a place of the heart and from real love, it never wants anything in return, because love only brings in more love. If you're doing something out of love, the act of doing it itself is the reward. You don't need any other external, recognition for it, for example. And I guess to just keep going with it, I think using heart focused breathing, which I did in a previous video, is really, really helpful. A really helpful tool to start listening to your heart's wisdom, to start tuning out away from kind of fear-based thoughts, negative thinking patterns and beliefs, It really allows you to connect within, because everything comes from within. All the answers that you need are from within yourself and your heart's own wisdom. It's never, ever, ever from anyone or anything outside of you. Just know that. And it's something that I really am going deeper into at the moment, because yeah, if only we just all knew that there is absolutely nothing outside of us that can bring us true peace and happiness. It's all from the inside. So it's just taking time with yourself, practicing, connecting within, and just really learning to feel and to listen and to be within your body. I mean, I don't know if many of you know, but your body will always be the first response to any situation. And if we become more in tune with our bodies, if we listen to our bodies, we will really act in a more conscious way, and in a way that's true to ourselves. The reaction always happens first within our body. And the majority of us, we don't even know it. Because again, we're always taught to look outside of ourselves, but the answers are always within, and they are always coming from the body. And the reaction is so minute that we do literally 99% of the time miss it, and we start listening to our minds and the thoughts. But yeah, as long as we just keep tuning into ourselves, listening to our bodies, coming back focused, being focused on within, we will always be able to act from the heart and not from the ego. Thank you. I hope this was helpful. I guess I'll just keep going with these videos, and hopefully I get better at explaining these things. I think that's the goal here. And again, you know, these subjects are they're broad, but there's just so many nuances to everything. And again, it always takes practice. So yeah, I'm just trying to hopefully make this manageable and easy for people to do, and I guess understand. And yep, I hope to see you in another video. See you soon. Bye.